Hey folks, welcome to Shooting Up North. I'm your host, Lewis Carlin. We're right here on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching for the first time, please consider hitting that subscribe button. If you want to follow me on social media, I'm on Twitter at Shooting Up North, Instagram at Alliance PW Network, and feel free to join our Facebook group, the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. This is Impact Wrestling news, notes, and opinions for August 31st, 2022. Let's get right into it. Impact Wrestling rejects Lady Frost's release request, and here's why she wanted out. This is from Fightful Select, released about 3 hours ago. So I'm just going to read the whole thing here. I'm going to read the whole thing. As says, Lady Frost asked for her release from Impact Wrestling 2 months ago, but it hasn't been granted as of yet. As of now, it doesn't look like it's going to be. Impact sources initially confirmed to Fightful that Lady Frost's release has not been provided and would not be. She has not been used, and as a result, she's not been paid per the terms of her deal. As opposed to a full-time salaried contract, Frost is on an exclusive pay per appearance deal with Impact and only gets paid whenever she's used. This was the same kind of deal both AC Romero and Larry D were on last year when they asked for their Impact Wrestling releases. Lady Frost has not been at recent Impact Wrestling tapings, and there are no creative plans for her at the moment. We've been told that she's made it clear via numerous avenues that she wishes to be released, and requested that release directly to Anthem's president and CEO, Leonard Asper. We're told that Frost needed to schedule a medical procedure earlier this year and had informed Impact management of such and that she'd be sidelined. And despite this, Frost was booked for the Dallas tapings in April without hotel or flight accommodations from the company and ended up paying out of pocket. After that, Frost made Impact management aware of her need for the aforementioned procedure. After appearing at those tapings, Frost said that she was left in the dark about her status while she was sidelined and was told she wouldn't be used in the immediate future. There were also issues raised as far as how much excuse me, Frost is getting paid compared to the cost of performing at the tapings. There are also other reimbursements for things like blood work that she says were not provided, though they were supposed to be. One note was that one meal generally is provided during a 12-hour workday during the tapings. There were also unpaid travel accommodations that Frost said effectively was costing her money to work for the tapings for a company she felt doesn't value her health. When Frost asked for her release, she was asked if she wanted to sit out the duration of her contract, which would leave her unpaid for over 2 years. Fightful reached out to Impact Wrestling, who did not comment on the claims, but said there, and that's where it stops. Says, but said there. So they didn't really finish the sentence here, and there's nothing here at the bottom. But anyway, so what Lady Frost here is saying is kind of it's kind of messed up. I mean, if it's true, I mean, I know there's two sides to every story. Fightful said they reached out to Impact Wrestling to get their side. Impact Wrestling hasn't responded to Fightful. But if they're making her pay for her accommodations and her flight to come to tapings, and she's actually said that it costs her money to do the tapings. It was effectively costing her money to work for the tapings, and that's a little messed up. Again, there's two sides to every story, but I mean, Lady Frost felt strongly enough about the situation. She also felt that she should have been reimbursed for blood work as well. Um, but she felt strongly about the situation that she asked for her release. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. I mean, you signed a contract. Well, first and foremost, you signed a contract, paid per appearance deal, an exclusive contract with Impact Wrestling, paid per appearance. So she only gets paid when she appears. So if Impact Wrestling doesn't want to pay her, they don't have to book her, or they could have no creative plans for her. So that kind of contract. I don't think anybody should sign that type of contract. You know what I mean? I don't like Ace Romero, Larry D. They were on that contract last year. They asked for the releases, and they were granted because they were being used. They weren't getting paid. So, but Lady Frost being on that type of contract as well, I don't think that's really a good contract to sign. But if you sign the contract, you should honor it, right? But still, an exclusive pay per appearance deal, and you only get paid per appearance. I don't know. I mean, like if they don't want to use you, you're not going to get paid. Sure, you can work on the indies, but are you going to get paid as much as Impact will be paying you for this paid per appearance deal? Anyway, I don't want to get too much into it on that, but still, Lady Frost again feels strongly enough about the situation, saying Impact Wrestling didn't care about her health, that she wanted a release from her contract. Impact Wrestling playing hardball, not going to grant her release. Um, Again, I really want to hear Impact Wrestling's their version of it. Like I said, there's two sides to every story. But as it seems right now, if this is true, Lady Frost has every right to be upset. In my opinion, she has every right to be upset. I mean, if they're going to ask me to do it, if they're going to ask her to come do a taping, and then she's going to pay for her own hotel, she's going to pay for her own flight to the show, and it's going to wind up. Say the flight and the hotel cost her. Say she needs a hotel room for 2 nights, and it costs her like what, 350, and the flight back and forth round trip, it costs her about $500-600. That's $850. Well, she gets paid $500 for the appearance. She's gonna cost her money. So I'd be a little upset of if I was Lady Frost as well. But um I'm just saying, yeah, she says here there were blood work that they were supposed to reimburse, though they were not reimbursed, but though they were supposed to be. So they didn't reimburse her for the blood work either. So we'll see. We'll see where this goes. But I know she wants that release, but Impact Wrestling seems like they're gonna make her sit out the duration of a contract, which means she'll be unpaid by Impact Wrestling for over 2 years, but she can still work the indie scene and get paid. So she's not going to be working for Impact Wrestling. She could still work on the indie scene. She just can't go like to AEW or NXT or anything like that. But it's a sticky situation here. It's a sticky situation. She said she actually spoke to Anthem president Leonard Asper, and requested the release directly. So I don't know what's going on there. It's again a very sticky situation there. I say Impact Wrestling just if she wants a release, if she's that upset, just grant her release. I wouldn't hold her hostage. If I was Impact Wrestling, I wouldn't hold her hostage for 2 years. I wouldn't hold her hostage for 2 years. If she wants a release, you granted the release to Ace Romero, to Larry D. Grant the release of that Lady Frost. If she's unhappy, she's obviously not going to be used again. She's obviously has no interest in being used by Impact Wrestling. So let's just wash our hands of the whole thing, and I just grant her release. If I was Impact Wrestling, I would have granted her release already. But we'll see what happens here. I'll keep my eye on it and see if Impact Wrestling does in fact grant her release. But it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. It doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. Again, sticky situation here, and hopefully it'll work out. Hopefully it'll work out. My best case scenario is they work it out and Lady Frost comes back. They work out they reimburse her for whatever she wants to be reimbursed for. They work out the differences that they have, and she comes back and she continues wrestling for Impact Wrestling. That's for me. That's the best case scenario. Right now it seems unlikely. That seems unlikely. So we'll see if she gets released. We'll see if she gets released in the future. Again, very dicey situation between Lady Frost and Impact Wrestling. Okay, so Jonah actually explained his departure again from Impact Wrestling. I know he did it some time ago, but he says he's going to be back. You can expect him back in Impact Wrestling. So he was speaking to Steve Fall of NBC Sports in an interview that was recorded before the G1 Climax 32 tournament for New Japan Pro Wrestling. And Jonah explained the reason for his Impact Wrestling departure. He said, just a mutual agreement, going different ways. This is something that isn't final. It's something where you could see me in Impact still. So he's saying you could still see me in Impact still later on this year or possibly next year. It was that I was working both New Japan Pro Wrestling and Impact Wrestling, and at the time the dates never conflicted. They were both great to me by trying to have their dates on separate days so I could do both. The New Japan schedule is picking up, and soon enough, once we get visas and stuff sorted, you'll see me in Japan as well. I've gone down the road where I'm going to be focusing solely. I've gone down the road that road where I'm going to be focusing solely on New Japan Pro Wrestling. So he's going to be focusing on New Japan Pro Wrestling for now, but he said we could expect to see him back in Impact Wrestling later this year or possibly next year. I could see him coming in for another 3-4 months this year or maybe but next year. So it seems like he was treated well at Impact Wrestling. He was happy, unlike Lady Frost, who unfortunately doesn't think she's being treated well, or doesn't appear that she's being treated well. Jonah feels he's being treated well, and we could expect to see Jonah back later this year or possibly next year in Impact Wrestling. But right now, he's concentrating on New Japan Pro Wrestling. He says Jonah will be part of the upcoming Burning Spirit Tour in Japan as well. So that is from Jonah. And last but not least, one more thing to go over. Here are the matches. Here's the lineup for Impact on AXS TV tomorrow. So tomorrow we're going to have the Impact Wrestling Tag Team titles changing hands as the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, lose the titles to Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. Hey, everybody knows that. Don't say, hey, whoa, Lewis, you just gave a spoiler. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that's going to happen. Even even if you don't watch spoilers, you know that's going to happen. So I'm not really giving anything away. I'm not really giving anything. My hair is like going nuts today. So then we have Masha Slamovich versus Deanna Prazo. The winner faces Jordan Grace for the Knockout Championship at Bound for Glory. Mickey James makes an announcement. X Division Championship on the line is Mike Bailey defends against Kenny King. Should be a great one. And Mascara Dorada makes his Impact Wrestling debut as he goes one-on-one with the returning Alex Zane. So that's going to be a great lineup tomorrow. That's going to be a great lineup. I'm looking forward to seeing Taven and Bennett win the titles. I think they're deserving. I think they're a great tag team. Looking forward to them winning the championship tomorrow. And Slamovich and Perazo, I'm looking forward to that one as well. That should be a great one, as should Mike Bailey and Kenny King. Actually, Dorado and Alex Zane. So this is going to be a stellar card of professional wrestling tomorrow on Impact on Access. So don't miss it. Again, tomorrow, Impact on Access starting at 8 p.m. AXS TV, of course, and Fight Network here in Canada. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great show tomorrow. Impact on AXS TV. Okay, so that's it. That's a quick one today. Not too much going on in the world of Impact Wrestling. So it was a quick Impact Wrestling news, notes, and opinions for August 31st, 2022. My name is Lewis Carlin. Thank you for joining me. And until next time, thank you very much and stay safe. Bye-bye.